Hey, you guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you? Can you guys hear me? Hey, you guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Can you hear me? Hey, Sahara. Hi, Mary. Hey, Susan. We're live now, Marta. How are you? All right. It was a crazy. Hello, guys. Hello, hello. Hi, Tina. Welcome, Tina. Yes, we about to get started in a couple minutes. I know. Here's the thing. Even though it's set for 5 o'clock, for some reason, YouTube don't send out the notification to like 4 minutes after the scheduled time. So I try to make sure that I come in between that 5 o'clock or 5:04 time period because therefore everybody kind of gets, get to hear everything. So I wanted to kind of wait a little bit, but look like a whole new crew of folks just came in. Welcome. Hey Tassie. Hey David. What's going on, fam? What's going on, Mr. David? Yeah, it was a crazy episode. Oh my goodness. Hey Debbie. What's going on? How are you? All right. What do you got? Okay, so out of a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give today's episode 33? I myself thought it was crazy entertainment. So I'll give it a 9 just on the entertainment piece. What do you guys think? Okay, so Susan, I saw this question pop up. So normally I do post the episodes, but I got a little bit of message from YouTube on Friday, so my hands are tied at this time. That's all I can say. So if you did watch it, it looked like somebody did put a link to it, you know. But yeah, I got a little bit of an email from YouTube on Friday, so I'll just say that. Okay, so that Deland gives it a 10. Hey Shamunda, Tassie a 9.5, 10 for Mary. Best episode so far for Dallin, which is the 10, and then Tracy gave it an 8.5. Yeah, on the entertainment piece, yeah. I mean, I'm not into name calling and stuff like that. You know me, guys. I know, you probably saw my other videos about what folks had to say that I posted early this week. But for entertainment, it was crazy. It was crazy. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this thing started. I know for some of you guys who are in Australia, it is in the morning, Monday morning. So some of you guys might be at work. I know I don't want to get in the way of that. David said it was a good episode. I say a 9. Okay, cool. All right, so episode 33. Oh my goodness. This is the third to the last because we got an episode tomorrow and we have an episode on Tuesday, which, yeah, tomorrow for us. It's already Monday for you guys. So tonight and then Tuesday. So, but in this episode, man, we got somebody through their ring and we know who that was. And then we had a lot of drama around that whole honesty box thing. So we're going to kind of take it piece by piece because some stuff also happened before the dinner party. So, as we all know, they had a real chaotic boys and girls night. Selena, however, she woke up, feeling kind of terrible or reflecting after the drama with the nude photo scandal. And she said that she wasn't proud of what she did. She kept trying to explain her side of the story to Dom. She said she didn't acknowledge that she was upset and in pain. Selena said, but she wanted to do the right thing and say sorry to her. So she goes over to the house where Dom is staying at her apartment, rather. And Dom gave her a warm welcome and Selena went ahead and apologized in her part in the OnlyFans scandal. She did say she was wrong, that she effed up. She wanted to own it, and she felt really sorry for hurting her. And Dom accepted her apology, and she definitely really appreciated it. All right. So what do you guys think about that whole thing? Dallin says Selena's a bit of a snake. Okay, so Skylar, we going all the way up to Wednesday? Okay, thanks for the info. Thanks for the info. So what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about the fact of Selena actually having some remorse about her part in the OF scandal and her apologizing to Dom? Okay, David says Selena warmed my heart with that apology. I appreciate accountability and empathy. Absolutely. I think that was good on her part. It was big of Selena to apologize. Isatis, I don't know if you heard me mention a few minutes ago, but YouTube sent me an email on Friday, and I'm kind of a little bit got my hands tied at this point, so I won't be able to do that, unfortunately. But most of the season I was able to do. There is a link in this chat. You can scroll up if you want to copy and paste that, because looks like somebody posted the a link to the actual episode 33. Um, I think it was big of Selena. Okay. I think it was working on her. Selena action shows growth. I like that she apologized. It made me mad when Tam and Olivia got pissy for her saying sorry. Yeah, we got to talk about that because that happened at the dinner party. Um, Selena was raised right. That's why she apologized to Dom. Yeah, I think it was definitely a very good thing for her to do, especially since it was weighing on her conscience, with her part in this whole thing. So yeah, she wanted to make sure that she went and let her know that, she apologized for it. Debbie says Selena, okay, so we got that part. So all right, let's kind of move on. So right before the dinner party, um, they all are getting ready for the night. Brent and Tamara barely speaking to each other since their final date. And she asked if they can walk into the dinner party together anyway. Brent agrees. Meanwhile, Olivia is still upset about that photo scandal, and she continues to vent to Jackson. Um, Olivia is still talking about how she don't see the problem with sharing the photos that are on the internet that she put out. I don't see that I've done anything wrong. Don't have any sympathy or empathy for Dom. I am not apologizing. So, what do you think about first with Brent and Tamara? Because they kind of want to show a united front coming into this whole dinner party situation, but at the same time, they're barely speaking to each other. So let's see. Skylar said, based on the dinner party, I really want Dom to take legal action against Olivia. The only thing about that is that like I said, I don't know if you guys heard the different things floating around, because honestly, this all happened on the production team's watch, and they were the one that wanted to air it. So I don't know if they do take legal action against her, more than likely it's going to lead back to the network. And with them being lawyered up usually and all the contracts and stuff involved, I think they figured a way to CYA in this situation in order for, because at the end of the day, it is television. But it's so many stories out there. There's one story that's going on where they're saying Dom considered it to be used as a storyline, and this is all people act. It's crazy. Who knows? So if she goes after Olivia, and the platform allowed Olivia to share it around and talk about it, and they aired it and everything, it's a possibility that it could connect back to them, and I don't know if they want to do that. The police in Sydney are wait a minute, hold on. Hey Jocelyn. Let's see. That was so manipulative of her wanting to go in together after the mess she made about the guy. Yeah, I mean, she didn't want to look bad. She didn't want people to say, "Oh my God, why y'all coming in separately?" Well, hey, stuff came out, and you see what happened. We'll talk about that at the dinner party. Brent not fooled. He knew this was just for the show. Yep, sure did. Brent should have never gone with her as a couple. I mean, seriously, they're barely talking. So for her to say, "Oh, why don't we go together?" It's like, really? David says T alert. The police in Sydney are investigating the glass shattering and the spreading of the photo. Yeah, I saw some stuff like that. About that, but I also saw with the glass shattering thing, they said that they investigated and couldn't find any findings or something. So let me know if there's an update to that. But I saw that there are very strict laws in Australia about this. I recall correctly from one season was charged with assault. Somebody laid hands on somebody, Skylar. Is that what you mean by assault? Listening from UK, wishing moms happy Mother's Day. Okay, Cindy. So do you guys celebrate Mother's Day in March? Because I know here in the States, Mother's Day is May. I don't believe production encouraged Olivia to share this. The host was genuinely shocked about Olivia's action. Yes, the host was, but the producers knew what's going on. They know exactly. They barely can even talk about things. I posted a link on about with Al having a conversation with um what's the name of that? KIIS 101.1, I think it is. And they could barely take the rings. It's just they're way too strict for this to just be happening loosey goosey and then for them to be able to air it on TV. So there was checks and balances had to be put in play before all this got cut loose to be so open like that and allow it to be aired. That's just my opinion. Yeah, there was a oh, wait a minute. I don't want to jump ahead. Okay. Jocelyn said Olivia and Tamara, two evil peas in a pod. Yeah, they team those two up. I really never seen Olivia and Tamara even hung out most of this season. And then in this last episode, they look like they were BFFs. Skylar says, yes, there was a physical fight, I believe, with someone on another season. Well, yeah, you laying hands on somebody. I'm not saying that I don't know what the rules are outside of the platform down there. I would think it's the same pretty much everywhere. But yeah, if you laying hands on somebody, I could see why. Yes, they did an investigation, like I said last week. The fact that she agreed to the topic being brought up left the police with nothing to investigate. That's what I'm saying. So if Dom is okay for the platform to use the topic as a storyline, and they saying that there was nothing to investigate, I mean, that kind of rules out all of this other stuff because I know people are reacting to what they're seeing. And either Olivia is one hell of an actress because the facial expressions, some of the things that she's saying, and then if she's allowing this to be used, meaning Dom, she allowed them to use this whole thing. Yeah, there's nothing to investigate. I mean, you gave the okay. So, let's see. Brent is too good of a person for tomorrow. Yeah, Brent is not going to have any problems whatsoever when it comes to the girls or women, I should say, women sliding into his DMs. Yes, it's Mother's Day in UK. Oh, okay, cool. And you love your show. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Cindy. I really appreciate it. Jackson stays with Olivia. He would be really down under. Well, I had that other interview that they did a week or two ago, and according to Jackson, his friends, his family absolutely loves her. So unless that whole crew of people is delusional, the only other explanation is that this is just dramatic TV. Um, Ella and Brent are super self-aware people. I think they were better suited as a couple. Yeah, but according to Brent, I don't know if you've seen my video I posted. According to Brent, they are not together. Um, I pray Olivia and Tamara get their just desserts at the final vows. Outside experiment, their behavior is abhorrent. Look like actually the only, well, I was told allegedly that the only couple left that actually is still together is Olivia and Jackson and Carolina and Daniel. Dom has publicly said she never approved this. This is which is why she's weighing her legal options. Well, I mean, here's the thing. The truth is going to come out eventually. That's why I like to watch and wait after the season, because we'll see one thing on the episodes and then after the season is something totally different, or vice versa. So it'll all come out in the wash whether Dom did approve this and there's nothing to investigate, or she did not approve this and a lot of people are liable. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Is Jackson deaf? He doesn't seem too upset when Olivia gets going, because it's there's a lot we don't see, and I don't want to sound like I'm trying to, but the thing is that when you see somebody like Jackson who is clearly not getting too triggered by Olivia, he might tell her to calm down. Oh, don't say nothing. There's obviously some stuff we're not seeing. And according to some of the cast members, because if you don't follow if you have IG, follow the Wash online. Oh my God, these little candid interviews that they do on the streets with the cast is hilarious. But they're pretty interesting though. I mean, they keep saying that we're only seeing like 1% of everything that's going on. So I mean, we'll have to see. That's all I can say. Okay, so David says Taylor Jackson is getting a lot of hate from people in Australia, calling him a simp for not standing up to Olivia and calling her out on her BS. Olivia and Jackson are still together and basically the only couple together. They did some recent interviews together. Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard out of all of these people that the experts and production bought on the show, one couple out of how many was on the show? 12 stayed together. And then the other couple that stayed together, which was Daniel and Carolina, they were technically with other people. They chose each other. It wasn't like they was picked by the experts. Yes, he should have been firmer with her. He's overly tolerant. Okay. Oh, that's Tassie. Okay. I find it interesting they had Jess on the show again when she was too taking legal actions against the show. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These people are under hefty contracts. And I've seen pieces of the Married at First Sight contracts over here, and they are no joke. So I don't know how stiff and how rigid the contracts are over there, but I'm assuming that they have to follow through on their end or else they're held accountable. Olivia, if Jackson marries her for will go after his family, friends, and everyone that gets in the way. If he does something, God help him. Yeah, the only thing is Mary right now at this point, and I think they've been married now like maybe 6 or 7 months. What's this? This is March. So I think the season ended in maybe November. So we're more like 5 months in they've been together, and they claim the family and friends love her. So, you know, obviously. You're really giving a lot of spoilers today. Had no idea there's one couple left. Yeah, it's all out. I mean, it's so many interviews. I'm surprised. Like, unlike here, the cast of Married at First Sight US, they do interviews, but they specifically talk about what's going on the show. They are not talking about life outside of the show. Whereas it seems like in AU, everybody's got these little interviews, whether it's on the street, whether it's with a radio station or a podcast or something, and the season it's almost over in the next few days. But I mean, it's out there. It's so many articles and blogging and whatever, and then it's all of these interviews. So the information is out there. It's out there. Um, let's see. It could be they're staying calm and blocking out and ignoring the red flags are Jackson coping mechanism. Yeah, my question is, I mean, because here's the thing. Do I think she probably have some unresolved childhood issues because of being bullied? That was one of the biggest things with Olivia. Because if you remember, like I said, unless she's an awesome actress, Olivia came into this experiment 2 months ago, barely being comfortable around the women at the hen party. When all of the women first met up for the first time at the bar, she was shy. She acted like she didn't know what to say. She felt uncomfortable. She felt out of place because she brought up her weight loss and all of that, right? And for 20 episodes of this season, pretty much 75% of the season, we barely heard a peep out of her. And then the last 25% of the season, which was probably the last 12 episodes, it's just been a train wreck or a barrage of craziness coming from her character. So it's like seeing day and night. It's kind of like what's the cognitive dissonance? When you've seen one thing and then now you're seeing something of the other, and it's like, which one is it? Who are you? Okay, let's see. I'm surprised. Oh, Jackson seems like a doormat. I don't know. I like I say, from what I understand, the other thing is that she was correcting him with his friends about him having drinking binges over a 2-day weekend period, and that's what the whole frat boy thing was about, and not about him going to the gym. That's what I'm saying. You can't. I guess the thing is, you really can't tell what's true and what's not if you haven't heard it until they say it. And because she's a villain, most people are not going to believe what was cut out by production. And production knows that. They'd be like, oh, they're not going to believe you anyway. So we still keep our anonymity because you're going to tell them it was this way and what was actually said. And because you're the villain, nobody's going to believe you anyway. They think you're lying. Editing must be crazy. Tassie, I'm telling you, like I say, I have conversations with some of the cast members from the different shows here in the US, and it is unbelievable. And that's all I can say. We don't see half, just a small percentage of what actually happens on the scene, on the set. Jack deserves better. Dom is all about Dom. Now, that whole situation was crazy. And that's the honesty box stuff. So we're gonna come up on that, but I want to get through all of you guys' comments. Jack and Jackson are the same. They allow their wives to run the show and keep mute. Keep mute. Only different is Dom is a super dominant one, so she's looking for an alpha type dominant male. Yeah, I'm wondering if she can handle that type of guy because normally alpha males that the women want and they're truly being alpha, a lot of those women will turn around and call them controlling. So, a lot of people say, I want an alpha male, I want a dominant male. And I'm not saying you should want a simp or beta or anything like that either. But whatever works in your dynamics is what works. But the thing is that if you want that alpha dude, there's something that comes with that dude. So I'm just saying. Um, in America, they are actually legally married, but in Australia, they are not. It's just for show. Absolutely. Jordan Parker, 65. Welcome. Skylar says, I would never go on a reality show and agree to ruin my career. Like it or not, Olivia has ruined her career. It takes years to repair what people have seen on TV. There are people that actually stay together and are married, and people still doubt their relationship. If you guys are familiar with Karen and Miles from season 11, they got married over 2 years ago. I posted a picture because they've been out and about lately, taking pictures. They're getting ready to go to Dubai in the fall, and they just been doing them. Miles got a new job as a principal and everything. Till this day, there are people that are not liking her because they haven't saw what because of what they saw on the season, and they do not feel like their relationship is real. Somebody actually said, "Oh, they just look like friends." I'm not buying that. So imagine what happens to the villains of the show, like a Chris Williams from season 12 or Olivia, who we're talking about. Their DMs got to be flooded with hate. And like you say, with Jackson, because he seems to be supportive of his wife, people are calling him a simp. And so now they're hating on him for not coming after her and trying to, either walk away from her, stuff like that. It's crazy. Okay, so Skylar also says the Australia marriages are not legally binding like the US is symbolic to be legally married. They will have to do it again themselves. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. Because they're not legally married and they're going through this whole process, I'm wondering, does it seem real to them, or does it seem like, hey, I'm putting you together, just you're actually saying you're married but you're not really married, and that's not really your husband but it is your husband? I mean, is there like something there that makes them feel like they don't have to take it seriously? They aren't spoilers this late in the system, and I mean in the season. I think these interviews increase viewership. Yeah, but a lot of them, Tassie, are talking about where they are now. I mean, Jackson and Olivia is talking about where they are now and how he's the love of my life and we've been doing great and we've been hanging out with the families and stuff like that. So they've already spoiled it for the world that they're still together. So some of these folks are. I mean, even with the whole rumor of Tamara and Mitch and Brent and Ella. Brent is out there talking about, no, we're not together, and Tamara and Mitch. Well, if they are, best wishes to them. This is well before the vow ceremony. So yeah, Olivia is watching herself until he marries her for real. Like to chat with his family and friends a year after they marry for real. Oh yeah, and also those Daniel actually, because people were wondering how niece was going to feel about everything that's on TV, and actually the sister and the niece they claim they find it hilarious because they said they know it's TV. So you got people who look at this as pure entertainment and not that this is who these people are. People like, oh, that's just TV. That's not them. And so according to, Daniel's niece and his sister, they find it actually very entertaining. So I wanted to put that out there because people had some issues with what his niece thought about the whole Carolina thing. Okay. Jackson said he had more issues with Dom than Olivia did, but of course they were not going to show that since he's a man. Interesting, Jordan. So Jackson had more issues with Dom than she did? Wow. The producers didn't have a villain, so they drafted her. They coached her, obviously. Producers and production know how to get in the heads of cast. That's why last week when we was talking about those 15-hour dinner parties and the alcohol is constantly flowing, they get you tired and out of your mind. Now you got alcohol in your system. You don't know what's going to come out of your mouth or how you're going to react to things. It couldn't be me. I don't drink like that. I barely drink, maybe once or twice every 2 years. So nah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Jackson condones Olivia miserable behavior. Enjoy her until she turns on you. Yeah, well, we'll definitely see. Love Dom's and Ella's dresses. Ella's dress, that red with the cutout opening with the ruched on the side. Oh my God, that dress was gorgeous. I was like, dang, I need to go and find that. I wonder where she got it. Debbie says Olivia has provided enough audio bites throughout the season for us to see who she really is. Olivia can't blame editing for everything. Yeah, who was that? There was an interview where they said that you're pretty much, and I know I had it in one of my videos that I just uploaded because usually I get those sound bites and I react to them. So if you haven't seen them, check them out on my channel. But there was one that I remember them saying that I think it was Ella. It was Ella. That's the one that I posted early last week, I think it was. Ella actually was saying how there's things that you normally wouldn't say out loud, but they ask you questions in a way to get you to say things that they can use. That's what I'm saying. And I know this to be true because, like I told you, my daughter was offered to be on a reality TV show here, and we saw everything that was involved and some of the things that she would have to do, and I'm like, no thanks, bye bye. And we were over it. It was like, nah, we're not doing that. Yes, David, you absolutely right. Ella confirmed that the show is heavily super edited for drama and hype. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just talking about it. The truth is, Australian media and TV is still slowly developing compared to the US, so they're doing everything to make it blow up. Ah, okay. Jocelyn says if the photo thing does not end up in court, then you can be certain it is production. It's certain because production has something to do with it, and they are likely covered by a non-disclosure agreement or contract. Absolutely. So if they have an NDA and this thing goes to court, technically they can't talk about it. It's almost, I think we call it gagged here, so you can't talk about it. I mean, if they say, well, hey, we want to ask you if this was real, or did you guys actually, did you still get these photos and try to, shame her for, or spread it around due to the rules, because I know there's specific rules for this down there and how it's described, because I saw the petition floating around. And if they say, well, we can't say anything, you need to talk to our production team, then yeah, they're not going to get anywhere with this. That's why I had a conversation on Facebook a couple days ago, and I told them, I'm like, they was like, oh yeah, I hope he comes, the police come for her and arrest her and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, good luck with that. They're going to have to get through production to even get the truth. And do you think production is going to want to come out and say, oh, yeah, we faked everything? Of course not. They're not going to want to come out and say that. All right. I don't think Tamara has done her career, future romantic prospects any favor either. Yeah, the way they had her looking today and how she was treating Brent, this whole thing that she claimed that she did not know that what he did for a living. You was with that guy for 2 weeks, and she claimed that she didn't, nobody knew, I mean everybody knew except for her what his job was. It wasn't waiting tables. I read that one guy who had been on Survivor years ago for 3 episodes, he's still repairing his reputation. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you sign, you don't know. That's the thing, when you go on these shows, you don't know whether you're going to be the villain or the golden child of the season. There are a lot of people that are going through. Some people have to really just either they shut their whole social media platforms down because it was just flooded, inundated with hate. So, yep. I still don't trust Karen. See, that's what I'm talking about. There you go, D'Souza. Karen and Miles are 2 years married deep. 2 years. These guys then moved and got a brand new house. He took time away from mental health from social media because of all of the stuff he was getting. Plus, he was in the middle of trying to get his job. He had a promotion. He's now the principal of the school that he's in. And they're getting ready to plan to go to Dubai. coming up in December, I think it is. And Karen is such a sweet girl. I do have conversations with her from time to time. Her mom is sweet as well. I've messaged her at one point in time. Sometimes I know what we see on TV, but I like, like I say, I do have conversations with some of these people, and they're nothing like they're portrayed. Nothing. So, but hey, there's a lot of people who think the same thing you do. Karen says, "Oh, it's messy. I don't either." Okay, Jordan. Yeah, people are approaching her in shops and calling her out, calling her name out. I had no idea Australians were so weak minded. Look at the villains we have just from all Real Housewives, and they are safe. Man, that's crazy. She can't even go shopping. Crazy. And here's the thing, right at the beginning of the season, Meredith First Sight production team, and I even posted it in my community tab right before the season started. They posted something that said, "We will not tolerate any form of hate or bullying of our cast members." But at the same time, look how they're being portrayed. So what are you saying? And I'm, like I said, I'm totally against the bullying. I don't like doing it. I don't like seeing it happen to other people. But yeah, that's crazy. Many of the cast are trying to build their acting career. Dom is now trying to jump on TV shows. Most of them just want the fame. Yeah, that's pretty much a lot, especially there's one TV show on this side of the turf that's called Ready to Love. There are quite a few of those folks that are looking to build their platform. I think out of 6 seasons, right now, there are only 3 dating couples. 3 out of 6 seasons. And there's been circular dating, multiple opportunities. There were people who did end up at the end of the season, but didn't end up staying, but they definitely have a bigger platform now. But 3 couples out of 6 seasons. So, let's see. I find it hard to believe that Jackson had issues with Dom. He looks a bit. That's because remember, we're only being shown what they want us to see. This is not a continuous 24-hour accounting of how these people move, what they say, how they act. Who knows? Olivia and Dom might have been in the cafeteria chopping it up. We don't know because we've never seen it. But if they're sitting in front of the camera and we never get to see the scenes, never. Because remember, it's their cameras. Production has the option of what they want to shoot, what they want to clip, what they want to show. So, anyone else thinks Olivia will be jealous of her own kids if her and Jackson have any as far as attention? I don't know. We'll have to see how this all comes out with just the two of them. Hey Jacinta, where's the new full episode? I didn't see it posted. As I said earlier, on Friday, I did get an email from Google/YouTube, and I could not do that this particular time. Unfortunately, there is a link in this chat. Um, there's a link in this chat that was put in if you want to check it out. But I think somebody else, the episode is posted on you. Yeah, YouTube is being me. There you go, Tassie. There you go. In the U.S., NDA orders cannot be used to cover up a crime. Not sure in the AUS. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's a little bit different here. Malice is the key word regarding the sharing of photo. That's why Olivia and Jackson keep changing the story. Interesting. Tamara doesn't believe sea lions are real, nor Brent. Oh my God, Jocelyn. So she don't even believe sea lions are real. How's she gonna believe that he actually is not waiting tables? That is too funny. What's up with Mitch editing? Something's wrong with that guy. Okay, D'Souza, check this out. So, um, there was an interview with Brent, and I'm not Brent, with Daniel. I posted it on and did a reaction video to it the other day. There was stuff that we didn't even see that happened outside of that bar. Now, there wasn't nobody laying hands, but Mitch took it outside where there were a lot of cussing and stuff like that, according to them. So Mitch was pissed at him for some reason. I mean, I can't see why he would go so hard on the situation of Carolina, but he must obviously feel some kind of way about this guy because yeah, the whole thing went outside of what we saw on the show. And Daniel talked about that. I actually did a reaction to that particular sound bite on that podcast, so you can check it out. Let's see. We have villains from Big Brother 2000 who are still paying the price. Yeah, beware, if you sign up for reality TV, whether it's marriage, dating, or even just competitive, like Big Brother or Amazing Race or Survivor or something like that, you never know if you're going to be picked to be the villain. You just never know. I'm going to have to watch it right now on another channel before I lose the chance to watch it. So we'll have to chat with y'all next time. That's fine. You can come back because you'll get the replay of this particular live, Jacinta. So therefore, you can comment and I'll still get to see your comments and your thoughts after the show. All right. At David, another channel posted that there was new laws passed that to prevent what Olivia did about the pictures. Is that true? Okay. I'm coming down to that comment in a second. The low successful relationship stats are direct results of experts knowingly mismatching love rats to ensure a maximum drama. Of course, if you put people who are incompatible, there's automatically, well, normally, not automatically, but in most cases, there's going to be drama behind it. And they're stuck in a contract. So you stuck with that person that you find out that you're not compatible with. So they're looking for you to react in those situations. David says, yeah, Parliament adopted a measure that would criminalize abhorrent, violent material shared on social media platforms. Okay, so that's what that new rule is about. Tamara just wants a sugar daddy, not Brent. That'll be interesting. I kind of want to see where she ends up after this. Hey, you guys, did you see that clip or that video about Celine's birthday? They rented a stretch Hummer, I think it was, and they were all partying. The next thing you know, I think the engine burned up and they were on the side of the expressway. I don't know what you guys call it down there, but on the side of the expressway, car burning and everything, and people were filming, and that was crazy. I'm glad nobody got hurt. Now, I saw in the comment section some people called it karma for her. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but it was interesting that that happened. I actually saw that clip. That was crazy. Um Jocelyn says Mitch showed more emotion defending Dion than his own relationship with Ella. Now that's a bromance. Ain't that crazy, Jocelyn? He showed more alliance to Dion than he even did um with his own with Ella. Absolutely. That was crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, let's talk about this dinner party and cocktail party. So, um nothing really major happened at the cocktail party. I mean, Ella and Mitch came in first, Olivia and Jackson, and then Tamara and Brent. John said it looks kind of cold and frosty in the room. And then when Tamara and Brent got in there, they split up the second they walked through the door. So they wanted to show up together, and then when they got there, they just went their separate ways. Selena and Cody came in next. Dom and Jack was the final couple, and of course, Olivia and Dom didn't greet each other. Now, a lot of people found it interesting that both of them pretty much held their tongue at the last. Was at the last dinner party at the girls' night. They didn't have too much to say. The girls' night was all about Tamara, Celine, Mitch, and Daniel and Carolina. So they didn't say much unless it was some stuff said, but those things were cut out. And some people was like, dang, it's interesting how they were able to keep their mouths closed at the girls night, but then they had a lot to say at this dinner party. Let's see, Tamara is on another reality show. Really? Hey, V-Dub, she's on another show? Oh my goodness. Okay. See, these folks, they just finding opportunities. I wonder if Mitch is sexually fluid and that's what's in the photo vault in his phone. I couldn't say either way. That's some serious stuff, but I won't be surprised he's a model. I thought he was modeling and then he does the financial stuff too, right, David? D'Souza says, and the way he speaks to Ella, I don't understand what she likes about him. Girl, listen, from day one, those two were thirsty over each other. Boy, that first few, that wedding scene and that reception, I mean, they were looking at each other like they saw their favorite food. So I don't know. Maybe he's good in bed. I don't know. I don't know. Dom's dress was lovely. Yes, it was. She was on another reality show when she was younger. I'm talking about tomorrow. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. All right, let's talk about this dinner party. So, when they get ready to sit down and eat, Dom tells the table that she's grateful about this apology that Selena has given her and how much she's appreciated. Tam or Tamara is like, why did you apologize to her? I'm like, wow. Selena was like, because I don't want no regrets. That's why. And she also voices it to the table, and then she's met with silence until Cody jumps in and apologizes to Dom too. Um, and Dom was like, "Dang, coming from Cody, That's a lot of recognition, being that he said that. He even understood what happened, hurt her, and she really appreciated. But Olivia and Tamara was not hearing it. They heard enough. They pretty much told her to wrap it up and that she was milking this whole thing. She finally got her hands on the opportunity to be a real victim, is what she said. So she's just going to milk that cow for all it's worth. And Olivia and Tamara has zero plans on saying that they're sorry. Brent did scoot over and apologize to Dom for not handling better. And then they started talking about the girls' night. So we'll get to that about what Tam said. So what do you guys think about this part from what we saw? They Liv and Tamara was not happy that Selena and Cody apologized. And the amount of time that Dom took to talk about this whole thing, Olivia called it her milking her victimhood. So let me see what y'all got to say. Yes, he does both. Anthony is a model and even did TV branding for products, most of them into media stuff. Oh, wow. Girls' night, those still an experiment, resented Celine's entitled and arrogant attitude and questions the man and for answers, so they collectively refused to give her. Yeah, they stalled her out. I knew what you was talking about. I knew you was trying to say girls' night. But yeah, Jocelyn, they stalled her out. Jordan says Selena was also on another show where she got engaged, but obviously the wedding never happened. That's why her parents are not participating. So she's hopping from one show to the next trying to find somebody, huh? Okay. Dom lives in Olivia and Tamara's head. That's the way it seems. V-Dub says, but Olivia milks the broken glass for weeks. Hey, Rebel, what is going on? Welcome. Come on in, take a seat, grab something to drink, grab a snack. We talking about episode 33. Um, yeah, so yeah, they were Tamara and Olivia was not trying to hear any of this. They were like, why y'all apologize? Why did the two of you apologize? And taking too long talking about the apology. Sorry, I had to take a squig of my lemonade. Um, yeah, that was crazy. Do you, any of you guys, is there any difference of opinions in here? Do you all think Olivia was wrong, or do you think Dom was milking it? She was wrong. What do you think? What do you guys think? Hey, Phaedra, welcome. Welcome. Yeah, because I mean, it's one thing. I mean, all she was doing was accepting their apology. She was definitely accepting their apology. And for Cody to actually, and both Cody and Selena to feel better about, what they, of course, they had remorse, I would say, about what they did and their part in this whole thing. Of course, they wanted to, say, you know what, I shouldn't have done that. I'm so sorry. So they apologize. It's their choice. It's their choice to do that. So for them to say, why did you do it? It doesn't matter whether or not you feel that they should not have done it. They chose to do that for themselves. And they should be able to. You can't control what another person does. And then as for Dom, she was talking about the fact that she accepted their apology. So Tamara and Olivia know they are in the wrong, but too proud, stubborn, and petty to apologize. V-Dub says Olivia sent a picture with the intention of hurting Dom. Yeah, we was talking about that earlier, you know, with the whole thing. Really, very few of these women are likable, and the ones that are bore us. Jordan Parker, 65. Who bores you? Who bores you? Who's boring to you? Um, Dom broke the glass in reaction to Olivia and owned her own bad behavior. Olivia to this day has not. Yep. Dom isn't milking it. Olivia and Tamara has teamed up to take Dom down for some reason. Seems high school to me. Yeah, that's a lot of drama. Tamara and Olivia are mean girls. Hi, Valda. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Had Dom not accepted Selena, Cody, and Brent apologies, Olivia and Tamara would have read her to fifth. Okay. Rebel says Olivia was wrong, but Dom should have owned her OnlyFans more. Like and what is a really not issue. Olivia tells on herself. Explain that a little bit more. I'm trying to understand what you're saying with that, with the part what Dom should have owned her OnlyFans more. Like and what? Clear that up for me a little bit. I'm trying to understand where you're coming from, Rebel. Olivia and Tamara know they look like witches. They are to the country. The witches they are to the country, so make Dom the witch. Yeah, this whole thing. They're going to end up paying in the real life for this whole thing. Even if it's all made up fake drama, they're going to pay for this because a lot of the folks that watch these programs really, I mean, they buy into the fact that this is truly who these people are, and it's just so unfortunate, especially with some folks even can't. That girl can't even go to the grocery store. And somebody calling her out. Let's see. So Dom talking trash behind about Jack on the retreat got totally pushed back because of the Olivia stuff. Now, yeah, I do have some comments on that because a lot of people wasn't happy about Dom's response on that too. We're gonna get there. Yeah, D'Souza, exactly. Please hit the like button if you guys are enjoying this content. I'm sorry, you guys. I could not post the episode. At least I got to the end of the season, but I cannot because it's YT is not YouTube, I should say, is not going to allow me to do so. Okay. Dom took it really personal and got emotional about it. Clearly, Olivia has issues that have nothing to do with Dom. And Tassie says, Mary, you're probably right. Yeah, I mean, Man, like I say, if this is who she really is, it's not a good look. If she's this is all an act, she's one heck of a actress. Let's see. All right. So it moved the discussion at the table moves away from Dom and the apology, and now moves toward the girls' night, which this is this conversation about Tamara and how she was not speaking of Brent in a positive way. And Ella actually said it was not nice things that she had to say. Olivia turns around to jump in and defend Tamara and explains it was just disappointment that their date went sour. But Dominica isn't having it. She jumps in the conversation and say, "Well, you at a different table? You were sitting well, she said you pretty much crapped on him for 20 minutes." Olivia jumped back and said, "You absolutely talking out your out your arse." But Dominica continues and revealed Brent's job as part of the discussions, adding that Tamara is clueless as to what he does and saying that I think he serves that he serves tables. Ella confirmed what she said by saying, "Yep, you said that," which she did. We heard her say that. We now that part, like I say, if I can put two and two together, we heard her say that. She said, I know that this is where Brent works. He probably waits tables here or something. I really don't know. She did say that. He turns around. He said, "I didn't know you for 3 months." I thought it was 2 months, but I think he said three. "You haven't listened to the word that I've ever said about what I do." Even the guys jumped in and said he's a venue manager. And he was like, every freaking person at this table knows what I do, but you. And that's probably why they respect me more than you do, because you treat me like a D head. And that's when we saw him run out. Well, he stormed off, ripped off his ring, and he threw it at the table. She jumped. That scared the crap out of Tamara. And, of course, he says that he couldn't be in the same room with that girl. So, what do you guys, we're going to stop right there before we get into the other part. So, what do you guys think about that? Because, yeah, I felt Brent should have been done with this. This is why I don't like the whole thing with the leave and stay situation. I can't stand that. If a person says, "I want out of this marriage or whatever," because they're not legally married, but "I want out," can I leave if I write leave? But when you force people to stay, this is the type of back and forth that you're going to end up having, because the one person is stuck into something they don't want to be in. And the other person is like, especially if both of them say leave and then one of them is on the fence and well, maybe I should say stay. That's the one reason why I don't like that whole thing at the commitment ceremony. If I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. But you're under contract. So if it's in the contract to say, well, if the other person says stay, you have to stay, even though you want to leave. That's crazy. Okay, what we got in the comment section? Dom did, and okay, Dom took it really personal and got emotional about it. Clearly, Olivia's issues. Okay, we talked about that. D'Souza said at Jordan Park 65, Parker, exactly, big red flag, Jack. Yeah, run. Yeah, we got to talk about that. Olivia can't let anything go, instigate stuff over and over. That's what we normally see from her on this show. Rebel says, if behavior like this happened at my high school, these girls would have been jumped. What'd you say? They would have resort to fighting, huh? Selena bores me, and I don't want to say it, but Cody is faking it. So he won't be labeled as a racist. She deserved better. Yeah, because that conversation comes up too. And I look at fake actions. Because one thing come out your mouth, But that body language tells a whole lot. And when he gave her that answer, which we'll talk about that answer, I looked at him. You can tell he was just saying some stuff. Olivia sees Tamara as one of the girls from high school. That she can never be one of that. Why she is standing up for Tamara against Olivia? Because she's a wannabe. Yeah, they definitely partner them two together like partners in crime. Um, D'Souza, you agree with me on something, Mary? Whatever I said. Okay, I said a lot. Try to remember and catch up with all of the chat comments. Yes, D'Souza, Jack think we all forgot. Dom turned it on him when confronted. Yes, she did at that dinner party. Kate and was it Kate? Kate and Matt's wedding reception. Yeah. Tamara doesn't have much of a personality. Yeah, we don't really get to. All the biggest thing I remember from her is her being real petty at her wedding. I think Brent showed a lot of restraint. Tamara deserves to be cut down to size. The problem with that, Jocelyn, is that when men tend to do that, they get called controlling, abusive, that type of stuff. So men have to walk a thin line when they, have to try to do something like that. And. David said, this is why I always advocate that people date someone who values and respect them. Absolutely, David. She never respected that man from the wedding day. And even though he tried to explain things, she still saw him like she did from the beginning. You are absolutely correct because I remember when he said that he works in restaurant. I forgot specifically what he said early, right at the wedding. Her whole facial expression changed. I think her thought was, oh, he wait tables at a bar, he works at a bar, and he's giving me, party boy vibes and all this so kind of stuff. He did explain to her in the beginning what he does, and she kind of relaxed. So, is this something that see? This is what I'm talking about. I know it's been 33 episodes now, but he did explain to her, and she was okay with that answer on their reception. And even the day of the wedding, they had a conversation about it. So now that she's bringing up to say, I never really knew what he did, that doesn't add up to me. So do they have her playing a role here? Because he specifically, like David said, he explained that to her. Now, if she chose not to believe him, that's one thing. Maybe that could have happened, right? But what I remember is that when he explained it to her, she kind of relaxed a little bit about it. So now all of a sudden she don't know what he did? That doesn't make sense to me. Debbie says, if the participants were there to really find love, then I would say yes. They should allow them to leave when they say leave. However, this isn't so. They're stuck there for our entertainment. Absolutely. I mean, that whole thing with Carolina and Dion could have been over with a long time ago because clearly that girl says she wants to leave that whole thing with Dion twice. Two commitment ceremonies, she said leave, and she told him specifically, "I don't. I'm not into you. I'm not into you. Maybe we can be friends." How many times a person got to tell you that I don't want you? I don't want to be with you, rather, or it's not going to work out. So, yeah. Let's see. Jordan says that body and face was saying something. That yeah, his face was different than his words. You are absolutely correct, Jordan. I think Brent's business will bounce back in Dubai. Oh, absolutely. Not only his business, his DM's gonna be blowing up because that man is extremely attractive. So Tamara ain't with him, but they kind of caught that boy works out every day, because I saw a clip where he was also interviewed on the street and he was headed into the gym and he takes care of his body real nice. So, you know, I he's not gonna have any issues. Selena has very low standards. That's interesting. Oh, scary. Very scary. Gotcha. I understand. Debbie says Brent said he worked with clubs and Tamara thought he was a party boy and she looked down on him from the wedding day. Yeah, but he came back and explained it to her. Yeah, that's interesting. Tamara is a classist and she looks down on Brent because he doesn't meet a level that she set in her head. So therefore he's beneath her and not worthy of her actually listening to anything he says. Exactly. I mean, in your that's but see that's the thing. That's why you don't. If you want to pick and choose your mate, don't sign up where somebody else get to pick and choose it for you because you never know what they're going to put you with. Seriously. You just don't know, who they're going to assign you with. So, don't have somebody arrange a marriage for you. Wasn't this dinner at one of Brent's venues? Yes, the last episode 32 where the girls' night was, that was one of the places that he managed. Yep, it is. Okay, so let's talk about well, we did see Jack follow Brent out and console him. Back at the table, Olivia and Tamara is annoyed at Dominica for causing the drama. You didn't need to say that to Brent because I was talking to you girls about it. That's what Tamara said. I didn't go to Jack after you was talking about him. Now, let's stop right there. What do you guys think about that? Because I had got pushback in the comment section. I remember, and I don't know if it was on Facebook or maybe another platform. I had actually said, you need to go talk to your husband first when you got issues. Your girlfriends know before your husband do. And some people were saying, well, that's who you vent to. You supposed to vent to your girls, right? Well, it got out from the girl conversation that Tamara was saying these things. And so they threw it back in Dom's lap like, hey, you said stuff in the girl conversation about Jack. We ain't tell what you said. So what do you think about that? I mean, honestly, that's something to consider because you have girl talk and something's getting girl talk and girls take it to the grave sometimes. Just like guys have, barbershop talk or locker room talk or conversations in the man caves. I mean, what do you think about that? I don't get how Tamara can judge Brent's job when she's an office manager. In reality, she's a glorified receptionist for everyone in the office. Yeah, well, that's not good to look down on somebody's nose. I mean, look down your nose on somebody's job. That's crazy. Yeah, that didn't make sense. Yep, Tamara's character was made clear at her wedding when she said Brent said, I don't do average. Girl, please. Listen, the thing is, some people some people tend to overinflate what they feel that they should get in regards to certain things. And it's one thing I know people want what they want, but the question is, can you actually get it? Certain people qualify for certain things. It is what it is. Just like, I mean, a job. If you know, want to be the CEO of the electric company, but you don't have the qualifications to be in that position, you can want it all you want, but are you qualified for it? So, you know, it, Tamara is for her to just look down her nose at him, thinking, "Oh, he probably just wait tables." That's a slap in the face. even toward the people who, what does she think about the waitresses and stuff? And she need to watch what she say, I mean, because somebody see her in a restaurant and they'll be like, oh yeah, I remember her on the show. She don't like waiters and waitresses, or she think that that job is, beneath her. You don't know. I wouldn't want to. You go out with her if you want to. You never know. I mean, it's some really interesting people out here, and the things that they do. So, um, okay. Tamara character was made clear at her wedding. Okay, Olivia always underestimates Dom and how she communicates with her husband, because probably Olivia doesn't communicate in the same level with her own husband. Yes, you can vent with the girls, but Jack and the other men heard it as well. That's because she was standing right there. The thing is that I'm that's crazy. You know, Tamara's conversation at the restaurant was not girl talk. It was her being Tamara, thumbing her nose up at people. Gotcha. The way Tamara, would think that girl, you would think this girl's was a really. Rebel says, I have another set of friends that I vent to who never met my partner. It was not right to vent to people in the same circle. That's a good point, Rebel. Absolutely a good point. But they tried to throw it back on Dom, because Dom put it out there what was in the girl talk conversation. And then they turn around and say, well, I was talking to the ladies and about this. I didn't know you was gonna get out. We didn't get your information out when you was talking to us about your husband. Uh she she's gonna be door dashing for a minute. Uh Tracy says, baby, I wouldn't go to dinner with Tamara. The wait staff is looking for her to come. So you knew where I was coming from, right, Tracy? You knew exactly what I was talking about, because I'm sitting up there like, they see her coming, they be like, oh, you think of you, that's how you think of us? Oh, okay, I got something for you. I mean, I don't agree to the fact that people do that type of stuff. All I can say is it happens. That's all I'm gonna say. And I'm not saying it is right. You should not be doing that. But watch what you say about people. Yep. Okay. Let's keep it moving, because it leads into something else. So Olivia calls Dom an awful person. Dom says, you sitting there calling me an awful person, and I'm not going to take it. Jack is backing her up, because he claims that the stuff that Dom was talking about, they already talked about it. So he knows. So it really didn't do much in regards to um, making him upset or whatever, like it did with Brent. Let's see. Yeah, because they discussed it. Brent comes back. Tam pulls him aside, telling him she was sorry. She was frustrated at girls' night. It was only the 5 girls who were left, and it was off the cuff. I don't know what Brent does for work. I wouldn't have spoken to Dominica if I thought it would be twisted. But Brent says what he's really concerned about is that she knows very little about him and speaks down to me like I'm nothing. So he don't even care about the conversation. His thing is, you still after all this time don't know what I do, and then you talk to me like I'm just a nobody. She kind of threw a little bit of comedy in there to loosen up the situation, and I guess it did for a moment, but yeah, Brent is over it. Brent is over it. He's done. He's just like, you know what, whatever. Jocelyn says Tamara better learn love cooking and eating at home. At least she would know what's in her own food. That's all I'm gonna say. Brent did a do Brent did an interview and said, put that girl in her place. Brent said that, Skylar? Debbie says, I've worked in the hospitality industry for 25 years, and all I have to say is Tamara better be careful when she's going out to a bar, a restaurant, a club, a lounge, McDonald's, anywhere. Yeah, because if they watch the show, and they working behind fries or working the soda machine or the drink machine or anything else, and they be like, that's that girl from Married at First Sight who said she had issues with the wait staff. Oh, she gonna have some problems. The movie The Help. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. All right, let's talk about this honesty box, y'all. So Selena and Cody go first. She admits that a major concern of hers is whether or not Cody feels the same way about her as she does about him. Cody says, I definitely have feelings for you, and that he adores her. And he says, we're together and after we transition out of this, you would be my partner, my girlfriend until we choose to get re-engaged. She was like, oh my God, that means so much to me. And she is just too happy. Gave her confidence, reassured her. She said that she's feeling pretty optimistic and happy right now. And with him saying all that, the first thing that I looked at was Cody's face. His face and his body language told the opposite of what he was saying coming out of his mouth. Yeah. So, what do you guys think about Selena and Cody in that whole thing? Because she was pretty much trying to pull it out of him on where she stands in regards to where they're going after this whole thing is over. Now, while we're talking about these things, hold on, let me see. Let's see. Tomorrow, okay. David says both Tamara and Dominica needs to learn how to respect the men and communicate their concerns with their partner. They despise those men. Tamara size people up and see if they measure up. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you can't do things like that and expect good things to happen. Skylar said Brent did an interview and called on hospitality staff to mess with her food. Are you serious? Brent, that's not the way to go, bro. You just stay the good person that you are. Don't retaliate with telling people mess with the food, man. David says, except you telling anyone the times I bust it down and blow that back out. Don't be telling no negatives. Oh, except you telling anyone the times I bust it down and blow that back out. Don't tell no negatives. Give a balanced view and only talk to someone who can be non-biased. Man, David, you kept it real in that comment, didn't you? Rebel says Selena has such low standards. What feelings? Lies. D'Souza, you absolutely correct. The one thing about um Mr. Cody, when he said many times he has no empathy, and that he is a cold person. He don't even connect with his family members. What makes you think in 2.5, 3 months he's connected with Selena so much so that he's ready to just take off and be girlfriend, boyfriend, and then head to be married in real life? So you are right. Lies with many S's at the end. I think the honesty box should be done in private. I do too. But you know they were going to get drama from it. That's why they did it. Yes, yeah, he did. Yep. Debbie said someone coach Cody on what to say to Selena because he doesn't mean it. You can't go from no emotions to full commitment. He lying. Yep, you are absolutely right. That's what I was saying. How you go from having no empathy and being cold, not even able to connect with your own family members, to and being in a situation where you're talking about how much you adore her and that, we're going to be together. Now, I don't know if you guys listened to my last video I did a few days ago with Al, that reaction video. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is because he kind of gave a little bit of tea about Selena at the end, and how Selena is not dating anyone, because the people on the radio show or podcast, one of the two he was on, he mentioned unknowingly that he let it slip out that he went to check on Selena, and that Selena is not seeing anyone. And then when he realized that the show host was like, "Oh, you let it out, you let it out," and he was like, "Oh, no, 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 no." He tried to take it back. So obviously, it did not work out with these two, which is not a big surprise because Cody wanted to get through this experiment pretty much. That's why I like to see these folks outside of the season, because you looking at, I mean, I didn't believe him because the body language was it for me. But yeah, that was crazy. Let's see. Rebel says Cody is breadcrumbing. Absolutely. He's just giving her enough to chew on to get her okay in an okay headspace. And yeah, exactly. Cody is trying to walk on eggshells. He knows that people would drag him for not liking her coming off harsh. And I mean, the Asian past cast already came for him. Yeah, he had to clean that up. He had to clean it up. Yes. Um, Mary says to Jocelyn, I do agree this should be done in private. Yep, I agree too. Jocelyn says Selena knows Cody inability and discomfort talking feelings like a dog with a bone just had to go there yet again. Glutton for punishment. Yep. David says ladies need to learn that the manipulative crying and being all sad when a man tells you the honest truth may not work in your favor. It's the same thing Olivia did to Jack, saying that to Jackson, saying that she's having a panic attack. Yeah, I mean, that's why, what is the word? Intelligence, emotionally intelligent. Um, I mean, when you start to cry on everything to get out of a situation, stop a person from, telling you the truth, the harsh truth, because truth can be hard to some people these days. They rather live in delusion and deniability, or whatever you want to call it, outside of living, looking at the truth. But when somebody's telling you the truth, you're in the hot seat or you got caught up in something, you cry every time. Like Olivia was, I'm in a bad mood and I'm not happy and I'm about to have a panic attack. That's low key manipulative because you're trying to get pity to get that person to stop doing what you don't like. So I totally understand where you're coming from, David. RTV, I'm sorry I have to say goodbye early. Looking forward to more tea and friendship very soon. No problem, Tab. See you later, girly. Stay well. See you later. Um, but yeah, I agree with you on that. But yeah, with Cody and Selena, not happening. So next up is Dom and Jack. Now, this is when it gets real crazy. When Jack is given a free question to ask Dom, do you see longevity in a relationship? The room is completely silent. Silent, silent, silent. Before Tamara's jumped in and said, why are you taking so long? This is a long pause. Dom says to him, it's been hard to see longevity with you. And if I'm thinking long term, listen to my heart, but also listen to my head. I've always had doubts. Now, Jack did not want to hear that. And he was like, well, and this is what he told the camera people, at least I know where I stand. And Dom is telling the camera, I'm still trying to figure out what I want and whether I could see a future with Jack. A lot of people was not happy. Like I say, I surveyed social media just to get a feel of what people are thinking. And people were not happy with that whole revelation, because with all of this stuff that Dom has been going through, and her and Olivia and all of this with Tamara, and this whole scandal and whatnot, Jack has been by her side, defending her, being there for her to cry on. And you mean after all of that, After all of that, you don't know if where this man can fit in your life. You don't know if you can see long term with him. This man got your back. And you've done some things yourself to him. You've embarrassed him in front of people, the whole red light sex thing, the whole thing about the toilet seat being up talking to people at the reception. That man then been through some stuff and had your back with you, and that's you don't see longevity. Yeah, that's what do you guys think about that? Okay, so David said Cody is trying to walk on eggshells. He know people would drag him for not liking and coming off harsh. Yep. Women's tears, panic attacks get them every time. Ella's reaction to Mitch's outburst about how he is and will never be, like, seriously, girl. I mean, if somebody tells you who they are, I don't know where I'm gonna be with you. Now I know it's hurtful because you want that person to, you would hope that that person wants to be with you. So of course you might feel some kind of way, but yeah, I mean, he pretty much made it clear. Um, Sahara, Jasmine, hello, welcome. I was surprised the answer made me feel like they were an actor couple. Yeah, yeah, I can see, I understand where you coming from. Skylar said the key part of what Dom said about the longevity answer is she said she was afraid because of her failed marriage. Yeah, but I mean, Jack is putting in the effort. I don't know if I don't know what happened with the guy in her previous marriage, but Jack has been through thick and thin with this girl. Thick and thin. Um, she's scared to make another mistake. Yeah, well, I mean, then you need to take that time away after your previous marriage. If you don't, why jump into something if you feel like, well, I don't want to make a mistake? I mean, I could see if this guy was like, if Jack was like Mitch or Cody, then I could see that being the case. But Jack is been there. I mean, she got this man dancing on poles. He was trying on her bikini underwear. This man has been doing some of everything for Dom. He never really slept with a woman while on her period. She got him to do that. Sticking up for her with this whole Olivia thing. Talking, he found out she was talking about him not once but twice. What more do you need to know if this man wants to be there for you? But David said something earlier that was pretty interesting. It's the type of guy he is. Maybe because he's too. There's a lot of women that do that. There's a lot of women out here that get that one guy who gives them the world, but they find that boring and uninteresting. They want that alpha guy who they have to sweat and fight and struggle and all that kind of stuff because it keeps the drama going on in their life. I don't know. It's, I've heard stories about the fact of whether Dom and Jack are still together, but maybe she don't see long term because she figures she's going to get bored with him. And that's so unfortunate because he seems to be a really nice guy. And usually that's what happens. The nice guys who get burned by putting their all out there. Because, women say they put their all out there. They do. Men do too. And those same guys, like a Jack, who is going through thick and thin with her, and then the person like, I don't know if I could see long term with you. That's gotta be that's gotta be a gut punch to him. It has to be. Let's see. Let me scroll back up because there's a lot of comments coming in. Key part longevity. Okay, Dom referenced her divorce and link it to doubts. Jack has stepped up for Dom every turn. All Dom can say is Jack is bad in bed. Yep. It was too soon after her divorce. She is not ready for Jack. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I honestly wasn't surprised, and we all shouldn't be. The truth is, the Olivia fight was a distraction. They never took the time to address their issues every time they met with the experts. That is true. I agree with you on that one. The producers got in Dom's head regarding her divorce, and I feel that's why she said what she said with regards to not seeing a future with Jack. Well, I'm telling you, producers can do crazy things. They can definitely get in the heads of the cast members. David says she had issues with him whenever he calls her out for her actions, like the wedding when she was talking about the toilet habits. She doesn't see him as a strong excuse me, doesn't see him as a strong, dominant man, especially sexually. Yeah, I mean, she want to be able to do what she wants to do, and if Jack says otherwise, she's gonna be looking at like, who you talking to? Just like, cause she said to him, "That's too much," and then she gave him this crazy look, and then she started talking crazy to Jack. Jack has a lot to put up with. Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Um, Tracy, no doubt Jack stepped up for Dom, but at the same time, she's allowed to be reserved. She never saw him as a man who can handle her, so she definitely couldn't see long term with him. That's the truth. The fear of making another mistake is just an excuse. That's what I'm saying. And I just, like I was saying a few minutes ago, there are women like that who wants the edgy guy. They want that guy that has them thinking and keeping them on their toes. They say they want a good guy who does everything for them. And when they get that guy, he's boring. Oh, he don't challenge me enough. I need somebody that's got a little bit more assertiveness. It's an interesting dynamic. Think Jack has to understand that they've been together for 3 months, can't wipe away all her fears. Absolutely. It's only been 3 months, for God's sake. I don't think Dom said she doesn't see longevity, only that all the doubts brought on from her divorce and drama of the last few make it difficult for her to look at a long term. Well, maybe that time should have been taken trying to figure out her marriage. Because here's the thing, even if Olivia came with her with all the fire, smoke, and brimstone, she could have tuned that out and said, "Look, I need to focus on my own marriage." You know what I mean? And then instead of getting down to these last few weeks, and now she got to face the music with what's going to happen with her vows with Jack. She's been so focused on this whole OnlyFans thing and back and forth with Olivia and all of this kind of stuff. Tune that out. You're there for your husband. It's one thing to have conversations with these other people, but if you're trying to make a connection, that's where your focus should be. Jack is too shy for Dom. She doesn't want an alpha guy. She just want him to be the one to take the lead. Okay, Skylar, I gotta say something here. It's one thing to want him to take the lead, and when he tries to, will you allow him to? Because I mean, look, like I said, when Jack spoke up about how he felt about this whole thing with the toilet habits, she gave him a barrage of, "Oh, you this and then how can you say that?" And all, she had a little bit of remorse and felt she did nothing wrong. Standing up for yourself is also one way of taking the lead in this situation, because I can't let you talk about me or talk to me that certain way. And when he did that, she pretty much gave pushback. So if she wants him to take the lead, she got to allow him to do so. Um, if your divorce is still dictating your feelings and decisions, maybe go to therapy and not a show. I agree with you, Jordan. Yeah, if your divorce, stop allowing your past to dictate your future. If you haven't healed or dealt with your past issues, why put that off on somebody else that has nothing to do with it? Go figure that out and clean that up. Jack would not make Dom any money her OnlyFans, she said, oh, she has said 3 or 4 times he's lacking in bed. God, that's one thing. I mean, do you want to continue to put that out there about your husband that he's sucked in bed? Because here's the thing, when Andrew pretty much said Holly sucked in bed, oh, and in his words, you know, people had a fit. You know what I'm saying? But then she says that about Jack pretty often, and it's like, well, dude, you need to step up. I mean, it's interesting that goes that way. Dom better wake up because Jack is the most financially, emotionally stable man in the remaining bunch. Yep, but the crazy thing about that, Debbie, is that some women find that absolutely boring. That is so crazy. I have no issue with that. None. But there are women out there that think that are absolutely boring. Hey, see Christmas. You just finished watching episode. We're in the middle talking about the dinner party. So welcome. Hey, Queenie, what's going on, girl? I haven't seen you in a while on your channel. Hey, guys, welcome Queenie on. I see her comment in the comment section. She also has a channel, so I don't know if you guys also checked her out. Welcome, girl. Thanks for coming over. Ironically, Dom is best fitting name for her disposition. Oh my God, no, you didn't say that. No, you didn't. Okay. Queen E. Yeah, Queen E is in the building. Yeah, I love her reviews. I even message her on Instagram sometimes, be like, girl, did you see this? Girl, what you think about this? Yes, Queen E is in the chat. I think Dom's reservations are okay right now. They should take their time and learn about each other. Yeah, it's only been 2 or 3 months. I mean, she needs to actually take that time and get to know Jack, but I don't know. I just from what the way she was saying this whole thing, I'm wondering if she's checked out. Jack was there for Dom whenever she needed him the most. That shows what a great guy he is. She just needs to tell him all the good things she said in interviews. I know, right? Absolutely, Heidi. See, sex is an important part of a relationship, not the only part. Absolutely, see Christmas. It's okay to share with your partner what you need and want. Then you meet somewhere in the middle. I agree. Those conversations have to happen. Especially being that they're new, they're strangers to each other. And I mean, even her introducing the whole period sex thing, right? He would obviously it's something that he never has done before, but he was still open to do it. So he met her with, okay, this is not something that I really do, but you know, for you, let's do it. And he did it. But her whole conversation talking about how horrible he is in bed outside of their whole personal conversation, that's crazy to me. I mean, some things, it's one thing if you like, oh my God, he forgot to pick up the milk. Girl, sometimes he's just so absent minded, but he'll be all right. No, you go and talk about, oh my God, he got a little dick energy and blah 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 blah, yada yada yada. And he suck. He's a minute man. I mean, that's just not because any of those women that come around him, they're gonna be giving him the side eye, like, oh my God, I can't believe what she said about her husband. That you like that? It's just not a good look. Okay, let us see. Okay, so David says at See Christmas, yes, it is, but the conversation should be with your partner and a counselor. Absolutely, that should be behind closed doors. Stephanie says, oh, I caught you live again. Hey, Steph, welcome from Australia. Problem is Dom complained about her bedroom boredom before telling Jack. Exactly. Not only did she complain about the bedroom boredom to the girls, it happened to be in open where the other men could have possibly picked it up. And I think a couple of them did actually hear what was said. So now you embarrassing him in front of the girls. Some of the guys heard it. It's just not a good look. Andrew was an ass with Holly, but at least that was said in private and not used as a, yeah, I mean, he definitely didn't like, what did he say? He said that he had better one night stands than being in, than sleeping with her. So, but that conversation happened in private. He didn't go and tell the guys that, like, oh my God, he sucked. I mean, she was really bad in bed, and I had better one night stands than with her. He didn't take that to the group. You were absolutely correct, Jocelyn. They were talking to the women, especially Olivia. Yeah, I mean, you already had started, it was already issues between you and Olivia. You just gave her more ammunition, and sure enough, what happened? At the dinner party, she brought it up. She brought it up. So I'm wondering if what they're going to actually say. I'm looking forward to these vows. And we got to do another live about these vows too. It ain't over yet. So all right. So after Dominica and Jack, you got Olivia and Jackson. So she admitted to Jackson that she already feels married to him and that she's 99% confident that their relationship is on the outside. She also says that she has no regrets from her time in the experiment. Jackson is then asked if he feels that Olivia's feelings are stronger for him than his are for her, and he did say that her feelings is stronger for him at this point. The experts noticed Olivia was looking anxious. Okay, whatever. He says, oh, she said that I don't see a future without him at this point. It would be a massive, massive heartbreak that would take a long time to get over. So, we all know what the outcome is with these two, but a lot of people was not happy about the fact that he really didn't go in so hard because of everything that's been going on with Olivia. So, like you said earlier in the chat, um, that Jackson is being called out in his DMs um, you know, for being a simp. And that's yeah. I mean, they making how he's being portrayed, not being able to really, or what we're not seeing him, kind of telling Olivia, I'm not going to put up with this. I can't be with you if you're going to act like this, that type of thing. And yeah, a lot of people are not liking it. Um, but what do you guys think? So it was Brent that told Dom the guys heard it. Yes, that's what I thought. I absolutely thought that the guys did hear part of that conversation. Does Jackson want to take the chance of dropping Olivia now? Olivia has some stalkerish temperament. Have you seen the movie Fear? You so funny. Yes, I have seen the movie Fear. David said he didn't want her to have another panic attack, and then he gets put in jail for making a woman go through that. Oh my, David, you funny. Debbie says that whole dinner, Jackson was telling Olivia to let it be with regards to Dom, but she keep going and going and going and trying to bait Dom. Yeah, he was telling her, just let it go. Let's not talk about that. Leave it alone. And she only backed down for less than a nanosecond, and then she was right back at it. Stephanie says the fact that Jackson said at this point was interesting, as if to suggest his feelings are prone to change. Yes, surely he wouldn't have been okay with her relentless baiting of Dom in generally poor form. Yeah, at this point, exactly. Because, like we were talking about them earlier. You know where they stand at this point. But yeah, it's just interesting where he was just not saying nothing. There was no anger on his face. Well, from what we saw, there was no anger, no disappointment, no nothing. He was just watching the whole thing unfold with Dom and Olivia in front of his face. And a lot of people was like, he's just sitting there nonchalant with all this happening. So yeah, it's pretty interesting to say least. Jocelyn said Jackson listed his deal breakers, yet despite numerous violations, is still with Olivia. Yep, he sure did. Jackson has a lot to think about regarding. Wait a minute. Jackson has a lot to think about regarding if he wants to stay with Olivia, but he will for some reason, of course. According to them, they're each other's loves of their lives. Jackson, let's see. I have a feeling we in for some harsh words from Jackson to Olivia on the final day, but still gave her a chance. Oh yeah, they gotta let him go out, kind of looking good. Did you see the Tamara and Dom thing coming? That whole, you know what, Olivia and Tamara really have teamed up in the past 2 weeks or so. And with them teaming up on with this whole thing with Dom, I mean, Tamara went back and forth with her like, "Hey, you told my business. Why can't I tell yours when we talking about the husbands? We was talking amongst the girls." So that's pretty much how that led on. Mary says, as I think they're still together and she's being good until he marries her for real. Well, we'll see. Jackson has to make it clear in his final vows that he's not down for her red lipstick devil attitude. That'll be interesting if in fact he does leave, or even now, they break up. But as at this point, we know where they're at. Jackson said that he protected his mom and sisters when he was young, yet he sat there and watched Olivia behave the way she did toward another individual. Very interesting to me. Yeah, very. I wonder what is actually going on behind the scenes, because for him to watch and protect his sisters, his mom, and all of that stuff that they went through, to actually see this, happening in front of him with Olivia. What is really going on, and why is he reacting as calmly as he is? They stay together. They are together as the day he moved to Melbourne for her. Yep, yep, I know. Hi, Lee Jane. Welcome. Jocelyn says to Mary, "That's what I'm afraid of. Can't wait for Brent's final word to Tamara. She would be lucky if she's not switching jobs soon." Yeah, we were talking about earlier, Skylar. Remember, folks, but with her talking about the wait staff and all, she better be careful about eating out at some of these restaurants. So, you gotta watch what you say. And she said it, so. All right. The next couple is Ella and Mitch. They cracked their honesty box open, and yeah, it starts off right away with Mitch asking her, "Are you falling in love with me?" She says she's on the path to falling in love with him. Mitch asks her, "Do you think that I know what it takes to have a long-term committed relationship with you?" Now, that she got kind of a little flustered behind, but she did tell him that they see relationships and marriage very differently. And she even added on their final date that she couldn't even get a clear answer from him whether or not they were leaving the experiment in a relationship. And that's the one main reason why she feels so insecure. Mitch isn't happy with what he's hearing, and now he's blindsided by her bringing up those same feelings. So, what do you guys think about Mitch and Ella? Because they started off so strong. They were one of my favorite couples in the beginning. Olivia and Jackson, nothing was really going on with them in the first half of the season. And so we already knew pretty much that they were going on easy street, so we thought at the time. But Ella and Mitch, they were so in tune with each other, and then at the same time, we did get to the part where she wanted Mitch to be a little bit more detailed about his feelings and ask more questions about getting to know her. And that was pretty much the biggest thing that came up. I mean, and as time went along, she kind of went along with everything. They had a little problem when it came to the situation of her moving to the Gold Coast where he is. And some of the other women was like, and then even some of the fans was like, why you got to move down there? And we even talked about it on previous lives. So what do you guys think about this whole thing? Let me see what's in the comment section. Okay. Stephanie agrees with Jocelyn. She's probably love bombing him hard, just like a true narcissist, until she gets him where she wants him, legally marry, boom, and show her true self. You must be talking about Olivia, Steph. Jocelyn says Jackson doesn't like Dom, so he's not invested. If Olivia pulls this crap on his mom, sister, friends, he won't remain silent. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So he's pretty much staying status quo because he don't like Dom either. But if Olivia tried to do this stuff with his family members, the mom and the sisters, yeah, he ain't gonna stand for that. See, Christmas says he had to move because I don't think Olivia would make it in his world. Interesting. Great point. Mitch only loves Mitch. Ezra Spencer, is Ella transgender? No, I don't think so. I think she is biological woman. Ella's too good for Mitch. I think they're just a Mitch match. Um, Ella wants something deeper, a little bit more solid with more of a foundation. I think Mitch just wants something He came in the door suspicious of the whole process. He didn't believe that the experts was going to really match him with somebody. He was pleasantly surprised when he found out it was Ella, but he came in disingenuous into this whole process because he was a skeptic. He was actually trying to prove himself right and prove the experts wrong. So yeah. Let's see. Ella, Mitch don't listen to Ella, similar to Tamara Brent. Ella's also, yeah, I agree with that. See, Christmas. Ella and Mitch only had sexual chemistry, nothing else. They never got deeper. Correct. I agree with that. So if Jackson moved away from his family and friends for Olivia, how can they say they just love her if they don't see her? I don't think. I mean, the thing is, I don't think Jackson moved away. Where he don't visit his family. They probably go back and forth. I don't know the distance on how far, and I kind of want to see what they say and give me the details on how they all connected. Did he move with her? Did she move with him? I kind of like to hear. We get tea, and the tea usually is good. you know but I also want to get more details about that. Because I mean, from him, he actually said on the interview that's on my channel that his friends and his family love her. They like hanging out and all that type of stuff. So obviously, the Olivia has been hanging with his family somehow, whether they go up there, whether the family come down there. If that's the case, that he moved to where she is. So Jordan says, anyone notice how after they got dressed for each dinner party, they just sat there staring in the mirror? Yeah, because the cameras, they had them posing and standing in certain ways to get a good shot, to build up anticipation and stuff like that. David says Mitch is up for a good ride. He's not looking to be committed in any way, but Ella wants to settle down. She needs to pack her bags and keep it moving. I won't spill the tea. You gonna spill it with me, David? Send me the deets. Send me the deets. Stephanie says, yes, love bombing thing that was about Olivia. Okay. Ella is a beauty. Yes, she is. Stephanie, a Mitch match. Yeah, that is a good one. A Mitch match. Exactly. Olivia, if she is exactly how she was portrayed, won't make it in any world. No, I mean, and she's already being bombarded. She can't even go to the grocery store. So for her actually being out there, especially in this whole villain role that she is in, she might need to hide out a while. Something. I mean, I know you can't live your life like that, but somebody, especially in Australia, if a lot of people, I don't know what the percentage of the population watch the show, but if a majority, a large percentage do, yeah, she's in for some trouble. They, I mean, there's petitions out there that's trying to get her off of social media platforms. There's petitions out there to try to keep her from getting a job in childcare. I mean, people are coming with a vengeance for Olivia. Does anyone remember when the reunion will take place? That's a good question because I want to know too. I really want to know too when that reunion is going to be. Ella deserves someone way better than selfish Mitch. Yeah, at this point, I'm over those two. Ella needs to move on. Mitch wants something casual. Ella wants something substantial. So she needs to go find that, and he needs to go find what he's looking for. That's because she's going to be good until Jackson actually marries her for real. Yep. Rumor has it Ella and Brent might be a thing. Actually, Lee Jane, there is an interview clip. I did a reaction video to it about 2 or 3 days ago where Brent actually said that he and Ella are friends. They are not dating right now outside of the experiment. Okay, so reunion airs Wednesday night in Oz. In Oz, Vows air Monday and Tuesday night. So we're all done in the next 3 episodes. Okay, great. Great, great, great. Most of the participants weren't ready for a real relationship, in my opinion, nor were most of them actually looking. Fame was a goal. Of course, how is it that you can have almost 30 people? Let's see, 15 couples, just say almost 30, 25 to 30 people show up for this show, and four are in a relationship, meaning Olivia and Jackson and Carolina and Daniel. Out of all the people that have come through season 9, four people, two couples, out of all of these folks that's on the show. Really? So yeah, that says a lot. Fame is a huge thing. Reunion on Sunday in Australia. Oh, okay. Well, listen, let me know whether it's Wednesday, Sunday. I'm here for it. Um, that I think it'll be good together. The show has huge ratings in Oz, and many may not watch the actual show, but watch YouTube catch-ups or online columns. Olivia will need to change her hair and eye color to avoid major flack. Oh, okay. Wonder if Daniel and Carolina will crash through. Oh, of course. You know they're going to be there. I mean, if they were allowed, they were originally told that they couldn't no longer be part of the experiment by John. And then girls' night and guys' night, they show up. Even Jeff. I mean, they'll probably be at the reunion too. I've said this from the start. The producers know that the cast aren't there entirely. Of course they don't. They know if you get a great edit, and I always bring up the example with Deepti from Love is Blind. She got a great edit. That girl she's exceeded 1 million followers on Instagram. 1 million in a month. That last episode of um Love is Blind season 2 aired, I think, the last week in February. And between that reunion up till now, she has exceeded over 1 million followers on Instagram. I don't even know about her other social media platforms. I don't even think she expected her, because she even posted something in her Instagram reels or her story that she would have never imagined in her wildest dreams ever getting to 1 million followers on Instagram. But she got a great edit. She got an awesome edit. Now I will say the other cast members on that show, even people like Jared, because a lot of people gave Jared a lot of smoke because of the whole second choice thing, which I'm not going to even go down that road. But even both he and Ayana is well over 500,000 followers. So when you come on these platforms, if you get a good edit, the chances are you're going to get a huge platform for endorsements and brand deals and all of that stuff and notoriety and so yeah. Let's see. The reunion. I have said this one. Okay, looking for love. Glad it's all wrapping up by Wednesday. Yes, it's been a long. You know what? I usually think that Married at First Sight in the U.S. is long because it only comes on once a week. So usually we go into month 3 or 4 sometimes because it has like 16 episodes. You guys have 35. What is it? By the time we get to Friday, I mean, not Friday, Wednesday, it's going to be what, 36 episodes? And it airs 4 times a week, Sunday through Wednesday. So it's been I won't even say long. It's just been a crazy season. Crazy season. I mean, it started off with Celine and Anthony and that crazy. Then you had Andrew and Holly and that craziness. Then we kind of got a little bit of a break, and then it shifted into the second season with this whole Olivia and Dom. It's crazy. Let's see. I wonder who Olivia pissed off in production for this villain edit. That's a good question. David said, "Yeah, I'm booking my therapist because I need it after all drama. I'm sure they're all gonna be in the next line of Aussie celebrities. Of course they will. I've enjoyed your uploads and reviews. Oh, thank you so much. You know what? It was just as busy when I was doing Love Island Australia because they're pretty much on the same schedule. I think they go Monday through Thursday. So I had got a little bit of a break, and Love Island Australia ended at the end of November. Got a little bit of a break in December. Followed a lot of the cast members after the season, you know. And then Married at First Sight, the US started January 3rd. And then, of course, Married at First Sight Australia started January 31st. So, yeah, it's been a crazy, crazy, but I'm glad you guys rode the wave with me. Jocelyn says some participants hire former contestants to advise them. Everyone knows villains get a lot of airtime. Yeah, but God, why would you want to sign up to be the villain, though? Oh my God, your life can be ruined after the whole villain edit. Married at First Sight was so entertaining. I went It went by so quickly. Married at First Sight US is tiresome. Yeah, a lot of people wasn't happy about the fact of the mid-season break we had last Wednesday. They did a review of the first half of the season, and people was like, why are y'all dragging this on? We could have had a new episode and keep it moving. It's bad enough the show comes on once a week. So technically, it's going to be 2 weeks before we got a new episode because last week was all about the whole, we're going to recap the first half of the season. They brought in, different, I guess, bloggers and things to talk about it. I didn't even get a chance. I didn't watch it. I was busy with other stuff. Some participants, okay, yeah. So, yeah, it was, I would say, Mitch and Ella, yeah, they're not going anywhere. They're done, you know, um, and even if they do, I don't see it lasting. But It's a shame that with all the drama, all of the couples that really were looking to find love, like I really truly think Matt really wanted to find somebody. I really do. Um, who else left? Sam, I would say, even though I think she wants to find somebody, I don't even know if she really knows what she wants. Because even when Al asked her what she wanted, she couldn't answer the question. So, I do think that some of these cast members did come on the show looking for a mate, but a lot of them came on there to get social media fame and other opportunities. So, Jocelyn says people quest for instant fame are blind to its pitfalls. So yes, they play the villain, get the notoriety, but yikes. Absolutely. There's no way. Even with the people that get the golden child edit or the great edit, their lives are still drastically changed because they're under scrutiny. The moment you mess up or that, just say for example, if you grow your platform to 2 million followers, the moment you mess up from what people think you are, from what you saw on TV, that could all crumble down. So either way, whether you're the villain or whether you're the person with the best edit, you're going to always be under scrutiny. So Sam wants a sugar. You think so, Debbie? Sam wants a sugar daddy. That is hilarious. So, all right, guys. Well, that is it for this particular episode 33, the final dinner party for season 9. Let's see. David said Matt definitely came on there to find a mate. He is a court clerk. Such people don't do crazy drama like the other cast because working in a court in Australia is a sensitive job in terms of image. Yeah. Tamara jumped on the villain train late in the game. At times, I swore she was looking into the camera. Yeah, some of them were looking into the camera. It was like, uh, you trying to get seen? You trying to be seen? Um, David said they should have given Matt to Holly. It would have been beautiful. They both looking for kids, talk a lot, and been on an IVF journey. Yeah, but some people were saying that Holly is an actress too. So I don't know. I don't know why Kate came in there. Kate is not, that girl, what is she, 38, 39? I'm wondering if she ever is going to find anybody. Dion, I don't even know if he actually. Okay, so here's something interesting I was told about Dion, and I guess I can say this now that he's off the show. So we all kind of talked about it last week, how Dion is back with his ex-girlfriend. But I was also told that Dion actually left this girl 4 days, allegedly, left this girl 4 days before the experiment started, went on the show. Of course, it didn't work out. And then he got back with her after the show. Did you guys, did you guys hear anything about that? Yes, she is an actor. That's what I thought. I actually thought that she was an actor. But let me know what you guys think about that. Because allegedly he was dating his current girlfriend at the time before the show, 4 days before, allegedly, coming on to the experiment. It didn't work out with Carolina. And then once everything was all over, he ended up with his ex-girlfriend. Dion came on the show to promote his development company. That was for publicity. Yep. That's why I was lip sealed on Dion. Yeah, I mean, I've heard Dion is back with his ex. Yeah, we was talking about it last week, see Christmas. I don't know if you were on that live, but yeah, we were talking about that. How he got a good at it. He came out looking like a saint. It definitely grew and promote his development company or whatever. But That's not the first time that I've heard people doing that. They'll be dating somebody and say, hey, I think we're going to cut this short. If it work out, fine. Sorry. If it don't work out, maybe we can do it all over again. Because that's what I also allegedly heard about Chris from this current season in the U.S., the guy that was with Alyssa, that now he's back with his ex. Now, I don't know if he broke up with her right before the show, but I heard that that's what's going on with him, that he is back with his ex. Yeah, we never heard about his company. See, Christmas goes to his character and personality. That's why he was like, I went and got into that whole spiel with Daniel at the boys' night party. You got in the way of me having a chance of finding love and building a connection with Carolina. Man, come on. The girl was not interested. So even if Daniel wasn't there, she still wasn't interested. She wasn't interested from day one. Tamara must be pissed that Dion went back to his old girlfriend. She would have left Brent for sugar daddy. Girl, Debbie, you are too funny. Sometimes the ex understand it as a break. That's true. That is true. Dion's grandfather impersonation was not a good one. Not a good move. Dion is known in Australia. The morning show on Channel 9 host is friends with him. Yeah, so obviously he definitely plugged his whole situation. You think Debbie is petty? That is funny. But seriously, because she was trying to stand, she went over to Dion and was trying to console him at that one dinner party and like, oh, I feel so sorry for you. Shoot, Dion knew he had a place to land after he left this show. He was good. He was definitely good. Yep. So I'm looking forward to these final vows. I'm looking forward to this reunion. And hopefully it'll be a good one. We get to see what happened after the show, especially at this reunion. That would be awesome. Kind of seeing where everybody's at. Um, Debbie says she admit to being petty sometimes. This show brings it out of me. Oh, hey Debbie, you sound like Olivia. Olivia likes being petty too. I'm just kidding. Oh my God. Debbie, that's just a joke. I'm just being funny, just poking fun. Jocelyn says easier for Dion to lay the blame on Daniel than accept that Carolina was never going to fall in love with him. Of course. He knew that girl wasn't interested. David, are you watching Marry Me Now with Rebecca Lynn Pope? Okay, David, let's talk about this for about a good couple of minutes. So I didn't see episode 1. I happened to catch episode number 2. I did not like it. Not because of the fact that she wanted to propose, because I mean, I'm all about people choosing what they want to do, but you got to be prepared for the outcome. I didn't like the fact that you lied to the man, telling him that you're on a show about building a man cave, right? You go behind his back and plan talking to his family, his father, talking to your family, buying a dress, and then show up on the street in a wedding dress. He's surprised. She proposes. He says, sure, I'll marry you. She's like, but you're going to have to marry me now, meaning today. He's like, what do you mean now? Now, in that particular episode, that guy and her have been dating for 7 years. And he also said that marriage hadn't really crossed his mind. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, if this man hasn't married you in this amount of time, that should tell you something. Because usually people know whether or not they want to be with you long term or not, right? Anywho, the other part of this at the end, when he decided not to go through with the wedding that same day, his girlfriend got offended and she was upset and disappointed. And she said, I did all this stuff and I put this all together and you can't do this for me. And I'm looking at the whole situation like you chose to do that. You got to be prepared for the outcome of him saying, no, I don't want to do this today. And she pretty much guilt tripped him. Rebecca Lynn Pope guilt tripped him as well. Saying, well, we put on all this stuff just to do this. Okay, but y'all chose to do that. He had no idea what you guys were doing. You lied to him, saying that he was on a fixer man cave building show. And then Rebecca Lynn Pope at the end, she was crying, saying, I love a lot of women in this situation. And at that point, I cut it off. I do not like the show, to answer your question, David. I didn't like how it went. It's one thing, like I say, people get to choose to do what they want to, but you got to be prepared for what the outcomes are. And the way they set that whole thing in motion, I just did not like it. So that's my long answer. Let's see. Are you? I know you're joking. Oh yeah, girl, you know I'm joking, Debbie. It's a whole mess. The concept of the show is questionable. The behavior of the people on the show is awful. Like, what else do you need to cook up? Yeah, and it's coming from a television network that is known for trashy type. I mean, everybody, we got Put a Ring on It, same network. Marry Me Now and Ready to Love, all on the same network. And I think Love and Marriage Huntsville is on that network too. And Ready to Love, I like the show, but lately in the past couple seasons or so, it has been not not good at all. It started out really good, but not lately. Put a Ring on It is in season 3 right now. It just started like this past week. It's okay. Last season was real crazy and trashy. Come to find out, there were a couple that wasn't really a couple and they were coming on for fame, allegedly. So, and the whole thing blew up after the season. That's why I like to watch things after the season to see what is really the deal. But yeah. Never watched Marry Me Now, but sounds like emotional blackmail. Oh, absolutely. Jocelyn, there is no way. It's one thing if they talked about being married. But this episode 2 that I saw, he never really put marriage on the table. Why would you get on in front of TV in the national public eye, knowing a guy that never really brought up marriage with you? You're going to create this whole elaborate scheme to put him on the spot to marry you. I wouldn't even want that the other way around. For girl, just like we said with Carolina, Carolina did not want to be involved with this man. Why would you push the issue? So if this woman know you've been with somebody for 7 years and you never brought up being married, and he's telling you, why do we have to fix what's not broken? I like things the way it is. Why would you go on national TV and create a whole scene to put him back in a corner to marry you? It's just not a good look. Number one, it's not a good look on her behalf, and it's not a good look in general because it makes you look shady because you lied to him from the get-go. Obviously, if you have to tell this man you're on a man cave building show, you can't be straightforward with him to say, let's talk about marriage. All right, let's see. No, why? Do you guys want me to put a ring on it? Okay, see you later, Mary. Thanks for coming by. That part bugged me too seriously. It's like it's it's is this what we black people doing now, shaking their head? Rebecca Lynn Pope is something. Yeah, and Rebecca Lynn Pope started out as um a marriage counselor or relationship coach, and she kind of got out of the game because she was having issues with the women and their high standards on certain things, and she was like the expectations was too high, and I can't do this no more for you guys because you want things that's unattainable and things that don't exist. See you later, Steph. See you later. Good night, Mary. Good night. Good night. The show is terrible. The bar is, yeah, Tracy, that show is horrible. David, I will be reviewing if you want me to review Put a Ring on It, absolutely. But yeah, so just to give you that, I know that was the long answer, David, but yeah, I can't. I can't do it. I just can't. I gave it a chance. I wanted to watch the episode. I wanted to see how it all unfolded, and the fact that you gotta manipulate your way into a proposal and a marriage, I'm not cool with that. On either side, whether it's a man manipulating a woman into marriage or vice versa. I just don't like that idea at all. All right, Steph. See you later. See you after the vows. Yeah, we're definitely gonna talk about the final vows this week. But yeah, so let me know if there are some shows you want me to review or if you want to talk about going live. Um, so David, you gave me an idea about some things, so I'm considering some things that you had brought up in the previous live. So I appreciate the food for thought. I really do, because it got me thinking about some new projects. So I appreciate that. Um, yeah. So, anywho, I don't want to take this too long because we have been going for 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I know it's like Monday midday morning probably over there in Australia. But I definitely wanted to get a chance to talk to you guys about this final dinner party because it was crazy, 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 crazy. Divorce Court is a great show, but not sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, everybody. Usually, I try to go after the main ones that a lot of people watch. But I get you. Thanks for the advice. All right, you guys, I'm going to cut it short here. If you want to follow me on IG, my IG handle is Romance Review TV. If you want to support the channel, my Cash App is there as well. And until the next video or live, we will see you soon.